Hello and welcome to Irish Ears, episode 14. It's our second episode of April, so as Aisling would say, Slapril. I think we can officially say, just like every Marvel movie, baby, we are back. I'm of course joined by the lovely and professional Aisling at Happily Ever Aisling. Aisling, I keep saying Happy Ever Aisling, but it's definitely Happily.
It's happily.
It's Happily. You're Happily. We have so much to talk about. It's been a fairly wild 3 weeks. I can't remember 3 weeks in the last few years where we've had so much news and stuff to talk about, so I think we'll get straight into it. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm excited to be back. I want to say thanks to everyone for all the love and tags on everyone's Instagram stories from last week. I think especially, like, obviously the two of us appreciate everyone, but especially it being my first co-host episode of Irish Ears, it was nice to feel some of the love and know that everyone was enjoying it. So I'm excited to get going, get rolling. We're going to be back all the time with loads of Disney news and all that kind of jazz. So I'm very excited to be back.
Yeah, people are all like, yeah, get Aisling on like every week. Like, you go to the side, get Aisling on, let Aisling just run with the whole thing. And I was like,
Stuart's actually,
cheers,
this
lads.
is his last episode, everyone. Sorry.
Yeah. This is me announcing my retirement. The Pope came into my mind there for some reason. No,
Disney
sorry.
Jesus.
Stop.
You're
Don't say
stepping
that.
up.
Don't say that. So we have an agenda here to talk about, and as I said, it's been a packed few weeks, like 3 weeks, and we have so much to talk about. So we'll get cracking. We have a special guest lined up later on also. Some of you might know this person, some of you might not. So we're looking forward to that. It'll come on in about 30 minutes if you want to fast forward to the talent coming in 30 minutes. So right after we recorded the last episode of Irish Airs, we had a Dublin pin trading event, and me and you both went to that. We had great crack. I want to press play on your thoughts of the whole thing and hear, because I had never been to an event like that before. I know you hadn't either, but you came further than me, so do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, this was my first ever really Disney event that's not like Disneyland Paris annual pass or anything like that. And it was really fun. It was so nice to meet everyone. I think it went really well. When we were all kind of a bit stressed after seeing the London situation where it didn't go so well. There was a lot of queuing with no pins at the end of the queue, but everyone was very happy with how the Dublin one went. Shout out to the cast members and security. They were all very, very good, handled everything really well. What happened with the whole event was just everyone queued and got wristbands to come back for a certain time. I think they learned from London, applied it to Dublin, and it worked really well. And I hope that this is Disney's kind of like, okay, we actually have a strong like Disney community in Ireland, that maybe we can do more events like this in the future, because I think like if you look on social media, like there's a lot of Disney accounts, even like especially I feel like recently there's a lot more Irish ones that are kind of popping up here and there, and like they're the people that would travel for the events. It's the people that really love Disney, and I think it went really well. It was really good to meet the pin designer, Kenny. Got a pin signed. I feel like there was a lot of people who were genuinely just there because they love Disney and to get some pins. I don't feel like there was too many resellers or anything, any of those kind of people. I feel like it mostly 99% was just people who actually really wanted to be there. So it was so nice to kind of just like easily chat to everyone, and everyone was there because they like Disney. So it was just all good vibes all around.
It was great vibes. I didn't queue at all, really. And that just like came in the Lewis at about 5 o'clock, and I just couldn't get over how chill it was. It was a lovely, like, what was it, Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday? What day was
Wednesday
it?
or something, was
It was
it?
a Wednesday afternoon. Which was a lovely, like, it was that type of day in Dublin where you just get a few. I don't drink cider, but if I did drink cider, that would be the type of day you would drink cider. And yeah, like we queued, we got our wristbands. It was so chill. I think we benefited a lot from it being a week after London. I think if we had been before London, we might have experienced a lot of that manicness that went on in London. I think we benefited from that a lot. They got their house in order with the organisation of everything. And I felt like it was just a big Irish, like, Disney community meetup. And I actually think that a lot of people were turned off by the London event from coming into Dublin.
I think so too, yeah.
Because I purposely didn't push it as much as I wanted to, because I didn't want to create something. This sounds very big-headed now, but like, imagine if all the people like who are in the Facebook group or whatever, like 71,000 people,
Yeah.
came to Grafton Street. I know those people are not all too ultra Disney fans, whatever, but yeah, I just wanted it to be nice and chill, nice and organised, and I think it was. I've been into the store since, and everyone has been giving great feedback. Everyone has been, everyone enjoyed the night. And we, just as the night was finishing off, we kind of walked into a protest that was coming down Grafton Street. It wasn't ours though. It wasn't ours. And yeah, we got to meet Kenny, the designer. Can I just say a shout out for Kenny, because I'd never heard of him before, like hand on heart, never heard of him before. But I've seen a lot of people's contents, in particularly Sam for God's content of the London event, and recently her video that she did on pin trading in general. And like, I just reminded how sound Kenny came across, because like
he was just chilled out, chatting to everyone.
He was signing pins like all day, like not all day, for like 3 hours straight in both locations, and just great spirits, really happy chappy. Obviously ultra talented, but that's kind of the easy part when you're a Disney artist, basically. Just really likable guy, and yeah, shout out to him and all the cast members working that night, because they probably wanted to be attending the event as a fan. I know a lot of the cast members are actual fans, and that's how they become cast members. Really, they just want into the house of mouth. But yeah, shout out to everyone who I met that night. I know people were kind of like coming up saying hi and stuff like that, and I think that it went really well, and I hope that it showed Disney that there's a huge Disney community. If we know there's kind of capacity and bandwidth, to use it like a business term, for bigger events or for more events. I know they're doing a May 4th event in the store, so that's going to be exciting. I'm not going to be there, but anybody who is there, this podcast will go out tomorrow, Thursday 24th, so May 4th, in about a week and a half. Get yourself to the Disney store if you want to have some Star Wars fun. But yeah, like I think like we went in again. Like, this is just to contrast the London event. So we went in, and then they didn't have the full allocation of people. They planned for 200 people, and I think they got close to 200, but maybe like 10 or 20 short. And the security and cast members are so sound. They said to us, we were just hanging out of the shop, chatting and having good spirits. There's actually, remember on the night, there was the Leopardstown races for students on.
Oh yeah.
And every 2 minutes there was like people walking down in full these were kids walking down in full glam.
Youths.
And they were like coming up to us going, what's going on here? What are you doing? And it was very wholesome that we were explaining to people half my age for sure. Maybe half your age too. Like what we were doing, how it was equally cool and nerdy at the same time. And yeah, I think a lot of people, and it's funny for my life, like I feel that all my Disney life is in Paris, and to see my Disney life back in my hometown, basically, and not from Dublin city now, I'm from like 10 minutes walk the other way, but like I feel like it's my town. And it was just mad to see everyone from the socials and everyone that I would normally only meet in Paris. Like I meet a lot of people only in Paris, which is weird.
Yeah. And
then to see them in my own eyes, like amongst Irish accents in Dublin, was just great. So yeah, 10 out of 10, great night. Love to do it again.
Definitely. Hopefully we'll have some in the near future.
Yes, please God. Another event that went on shortly after that, which happened mostly in the universe of Universal, was the huge announcement across the pond that they were getting Universal. I think it's going to be called Universal GB or Universal England or Universal Bedford.
I think it's going to be Great Britain.
Is it? I've seen
a logo with that.
I've seen a logo, but not sure that was fan created or not.
No, I think that was a real.
Was
one.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. So Universal Union Jack was announced, and it's going to open 2031. It had this relatively vague map / concept art done for it. I mean, I've been following this particularly on Theme Park Worldwide, those guys on YouTube. Great channel, by the way, if you haven't checked it out. They were over in Emerald Park last summer, and I was like, oh my god, we have celebrities in Emerald Park. But yeah, so they've been following it closely. They were at the media event, I think it was last summer, where they came and spoke to locals and got politicians' viewpoints and things like that, and like they finally got the go ahead to announce it. And yeah, it's so great because I know it's not in Ireland, but it's just across the river that separates the two countries.
That's
And
literally one of the first things I thought was like, I will probably get an annual pass for it. Like even
yeah,
though I know it's going to be like a smaller scale park, it's not going to be like, I haven't experienced the US Universals, but like it's going to be smaller scale. But like that's right up my street. So I think definitely I would probably get an AP if it's
yeah, just to
if
mix
it's
it
good
up, like,
vibes.
yeah,
Yeah,
just,
just
I
throw
mean,
it in
it's
there. Little
Universal is
weekend.
always a bit more grown up, I think, in definitely in American parks and what we've seen. But they're going to have apparently a Paddington section.
I will be very excited about that.
Yeah, I'm all about the Jurassic World section,
Oh, me
Jurassic
too.
Park. That's
Yeah.
like, I hope they recreate Velocicoaster. That'd be incredible, because that's one of those roller coasters that it's a lap bar. So, and even though it's a corkscrew with a lap bar,
Yeah.
which is crazy, don't know how it's going to work. Thank God the UK left the EU, because the EU wouldn't let that happen.
I don't think so.
But what else did we have? I think they were going to do a Bond section. Was it in the
Back to the Future is like the square that kind of looks like from the movie, the like town square. Yeah, I am kind of sad. We did chat about this, like just between us, that there's probably going to be no Harry Potter.
There won't
which
no.
is sad. I'm staying hopeful, but probably not.
I think what they might do is, if this kicks off or whatever, 10 years down the line when there's an expansion or something,
probably
they might put something in there, because they obviously can't put like Hagrid's, or they can't put the Ministry, like we're getting on to Epic Universe in a few minutes now, but they can't put those rides into the Warner Brothers studio tour.
Yeah.
Do you know? So who knows? This is going to be a like tipping their toes into it, and then get that park up and running, and then build the next park in 10-15 years. But like, come on, guys, you know. no one's getting younger here. But
and
yeah.
I also did see a TikTok. Don't know, obviously TikTok should not be a source for anything, but I did see that apparently they don't have a, like 100% confirmed planning permission yet on the parks, or there's something along those lines. Like they have permission for the go ahead. So I mean, like those 5 years of from when like Epic was announced just like flew by. So even if it was a little longer than 5 years, and I mean, look at us still waiting on Frozen, but I feel like even if it's not fully 100% yet, even within the next 10 years, to have an actual like Universal theme park in the UK is going to be pretty cool.
You know, I'd be fairly confident now, because it was the current Prime Minister Keir Starmer who did the like co-press conference with the Universal people, and they've classed it as a like strategic cultural thing, in the same way that, you know, when a really important road will get built really quickly. So they're all about it, and I can see now that actually this is another one, thankfully, that the UK is out of the EU. It might get done a little bit faster, because, you know, try and build anything in France, and if anyone's listening that's involved with Disneyland Paris, I'm sorry, but you know the story. You try and move a bin in Disneyland Paris, and it needs about 10 teams to sign off on it. But so moving on then to Epic Universe, I don't know how spoilerish I've
watched everything.
You watched great stuff.
I couldn't wait for a whole year.
It's actually funny, because only in the last week or two have I seen Irish people go over. Like these people,
I haven't seen anyone Irish going over.
Yeah, they don't really, not many people who have huge accounts have went over, whatever, but like just general people who love Florida and regularly go to Orlando. It seems pretty easy to get into like the previews, which basically means the park is open. I don't know. Like if anyone can just go and buy a ticket, that means the park is open. But I think it's called a technical rehearsal until May 22nd. So I think it's just the fact that they want to disclaim it themselves from things not working, or maybe not working properly. I think one day last week the Ministry was closed in Harry Potter.
And then they have a virtual queue now for it, but then apparently like the virtual queue is very like limited amount. So even though it looks like it's fully empty, I seen one girl that I follow, she was at it. There was no virtual queue slots left, but there was like nobody going in or out of the rides, but the ride wasn't down. It was just that there was such like limited spots. So I think they're just kind of going in very low numbers, because I think it looks amazing. The Ministry looks unbelievable. Like I'm so excited. I'm equally like Harry Potter as I am to Disney. Like growing up I loved Disney, but then like I wanted to be in Harry Potter. Like I was like, where is my letter? What the hell, guys, come on. But I'm really excited for it. But I don't know, like I think when the crowds that are like the normal crowds are going to be in it, I don't think like the flu thing, did you see that, like where you walk through, spoiler, sorry for anyone who didn't want to spoil
the queue
it.
area.
So when you walk there, you see like all the green, like you're
Yeah.
inside the ministry. But to get to the actual like next section of the queue, you walk through like a big fireplace, like the flue powder.
Oh yeah,
and
I saw that.
the
Yeah,
green
yeah.
smoke all comes up. So like if they're like shuffling like go 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 through that, I mean it's not going to be as cool as just like
No.
walking through it singly by yourself and being able to get like a cute little video, which was in my head. Like I'll manifest it. It'll happen for me. Lucky girl syndrome. It'll happen. Why
But
not? Yeah, I think everything looks amazing because it's like at half capacity right now.
Exactly. And a lot of the people who got invited, I say this as a person who this happens to a lot as well, because like when you get a sneak peek of something and you're part of a short list of something, you naturally feel way more excited than you would be if every Tom, Dick and Harry was going to the event, or every Tom, Dick and Harry was going to a brand new park open. So the fact that they feel special, and they've been watching, like a lot of the Florida creators would have been living around Epic or Orlando and Universal and seeing this getting built, and then to have it open,
Yeah,
you're biased. That's just the fact. Like
definitely.
we're humans. That's okay. So yeah. What did I love from that place? I loved. So we have Harry Potter section, How to Train Your Dragon,
Yeah, Isla Burke.
Dark Universe,
Dark Universe,
and Mario.
Nintendo. Yeah. And then
So-
Celestial Park is like the main area, which has its own. The carousel looks really cool of that. It's like
Yeah,
it's like
it's like a
different kind of vibes.
3-dimensional carousel going in.
Yeah, and then I think it looks. I've one of the videos I watched, and it said it really leaned into the kind of like European like parks, kind of vibe with the fountains and all the flowers and stuff. And I think it looks very pretty in comparison to like when you see videos. Well, for me, videos when I see it of like Universal, it's very like theme parky. Whereas this one, I think it said there's. Don't quote me on this. It was Mammoth Club's video. I think it said there's 17 different like water things like around Celestial Park, like by
Like
itself,
fountains and
like
stuff?
little like fountains,
that's
ponds,
cool.
that kind of thing. Like, and there's flowers all along them. I think it looks very pretty, and it's nice that they have kind of like an original story going for the actual Celestial Park. That's not just IP, and they kind of created this whole one side's the sun, one side's the moon kind of a thing. Yeah, it looks really nice, and the hotel looking over the park looks amazing.
Yeah,
The
they
views
took that
right
from
into
Paris,
the park.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. They were like,
Just
oh, we
waiting
gotta
for
do
them
that.
to make like some sort of Casa Club so you can stay there.
Oh yeah, that's the only place I'll be saying. Sorry,
Tell
guys.
everyone about it. Yeah. So enough of talking about non-brand stuff. We're going back now to the kind of like April 12th was a huge bag of mixed emotions for me that whole weekend, because when you look back at it, like there wasn't much announced at all, but I had a great weekend, and I'm sure everyone who followed me on Instagram hopefully got that off
really
my
fun.
content. Yeah,
Definitely.
so I was actually waiting for the podcast to kind of offload, because there was no way, like I just do pictures and like talk over era videos on my Instagram lately, and there's no way I could possibly convey the emotions of what we got to do that day. So I'll just go through really quickly. I flew over on the Friday morning, yeah. And Aer Lingus, thank you very much. I paid for my ticket, so thank you very much. It was one of those new Aer Lingus planes, so it was
nice,
like,
with the screen.
bougie with the screen. Yeah, cool.
Nice.
And then when I arrived, I went into studios and I saw the new walls coming down the studios. It was lovely, all the new flooring. It was like, gorgeous day. I knew the next day was going to be gorgeous. I knew the whole weekend was going to be, top weather. So I was like buzzing for the whole thing. I was actually starving, but I was buzzing too. And I met up with Andy at Andy's Magic and Snacks, and her friend Kate at Diz, I believe is the handle. And we just walked around, shoot the breeze, went down to Kebab Cookout, and then went to Boardwalk Candy Palace for the opening. And right before we went to Boardwalk Candy Palace, they had met, and who they knew about Roy P. Disney being in the parks.
Crazy.
And we all saw them in front of City Hall with like Natasha, Roy, Giona, the old ambassador, the two current ambassadors. It was just like a who's who at Disneyland Paris, including a member of the Disneyland family. So I was like, trying to be respectful, whatever, and I slipped in the back door there and tapped him on the shoulder and said, sorry, Mr. Disney, is there any chance of getting a picture? I'm Irish. And he goes, oh, I'm Irish too. And I was like,
Nice.
I knew that was
Good
the
way
line
to
to
get
use.
in.
Yeah, exactly. I knew
Always
that
a
was
good
the
way
line
to
to use.
get in.
So we talked about like Walt's clattering and whatever, and you have the usual spiel lined up for anybody who wants to talk Irish Disney. And lovely fella. Like, I'm sure he was kind of over, like he's not a cast member obviously, but he was kind of over on a bit of a wouldn't call it a junket. He was definitely walked around the park,
It's kind of PR kind of.
But I think he said he wanted to like do rides as a guest would,
Queue up and stuff.
Yeah, he said he wants to go on Small World, but the ride was the queue was too long.
In Small World, it's like usually the shortest.
Yeah. So I think like Andy and Kate actually offered to bring him down and like, go through the faster queue, but I just think it was funny. Like, he was a nice fella, real nice, and he told us the story about Walt. When Walt was in a bad mood, they would all, like, obviously he wouldn't be texting, but there were whispers around the studios, and they would all tell each other, "Oh, Walt is in his bear suit," because that's what they said. And I was listening to Roy P. Disney, and I was like the P stands for Patrick, by the way. I was listening, so definitely Irish. But it was just surreal to hear someone like, I can't do the maths on whether he would have spent a lot of time in Walt's presence or like whatever. Like, to be frank, that doesn't really matter to me. But the fact that somebody was telling me, almost, if it wasn't a first-hand story, it was like such a close story to actual,
like a family story,
real Walt Disney. Everything we see is in like, the Walt's restaurant or in Lily's boutique or on YouTube videos or documentaries and stuff. And here is a man telling me a family story about Walt Disney. It's mental. I was just like shivering as he was saying it to me. I was like, oh, crazy. I didn't know what to say to him, because I was like, what do I say to you? Like, thanks for the magic. Like, thanks for all this. Because
thanks
I'm sure
by association.
But he has a career as a producer. Like, I didn't want to be like, oh, tell us about Walt. He's a distinguished man in his own right. I'm sure it helped having that surname, but still. So that was cool. Went into Boardwalk Candy Palace, spent about 20 quid on treats. Took nice pictures afterwards. All the stuff was lovely. The little show beforehand. Outside. Yeah. That was lovely, but that was definitely paid for by like Mars or M&M's. Yeah, for sure.
It definitely was. But when I was watching it, I was thinking, like, wouldn't that be just, because it wasn't like good morning, something kind of vibe. I was like,
it was walking straight down the middle of Main Street, USA.
So I was like, why can't they do something like that every morning and just have Mickey come down? Like, this is sometimes the gripes that I have with Disneyland Paris, because I'm like, there's already transport running. You don't have to pay anyone extra. Mickey's already coming out on the train station. Like, just have him go down Main Street with that song playing and then get off at the train station and go up. Because I thought, like, it just looked really cute to have them coming down in the car in the middle of Main Street. I was like, and especially sunshine and everything, it was all very good vibes. And then there was some little townspeople, and was there like an Easter bunny, or am I imagining that?
That was definitely something. You had some Kiri hallucinogenics. Yeah, sure.
Must have been. Maybe it was Easter and
but Florida or something. Like the citizens of Main Street were out, and they were actually all like performing, and it was just real nice to see them given a bit more to do, because when they're out just for walkabouts, they have their stories and they have their performance like that. But these guys were, not really dancing, but they were definitely performing to a higher degree than they would have been normally just walking down Main Street. So it was great. That store was lovely. Like, it was lovely before. I don't know what they did really. They kind of
that's what
moved
I was
around.
Thinking. I was thinking that it didn't look that too much different. And I also think, I thought that they'd go out with like a bang and it'd be like, look, everyone is always saying Disneyland Paris' food's awful. Well, look at all the like sweets and treats that we have now. And then it was just kind of the same food. And I was like, oh, I really thought, because of when I seen like all the M&Ms, I actually haven't seen that much content apart from yours and I think Andy's. But when I seen like the M&M balloons, I really love it. Stuart's just holding up some M&Ms.
Yeah, there's no video on this podcast.
I really thought that there'd be like, I don't know, the brownies, the normal brownies, like the cake poppy kind of ones, but covered in M&Ms, or like something, I don't know, something just a bit different. But I feel like it was just kind of the same stuff. And I feel like even though they had the new Rice Krispie things, quote unquote new, they did have them before. I feel like they're probably just going to be for now for a while, and then will go away periodically and come back periodically. I know. I did think they could have just added some more new traits.
There was very little new, in fairness, and if you don't follow Andy's Magic and Snacks, like she is the lady for the snacks, and she was able to like say exactly what was new and what wasn't new, and like down to the like smallest detail. She was also giving out the fact that there wasn't any fridges like added to the back of the store. So like when you go in, the back of the store is now just a display counter that you can order, and then you bring your receipt to the front of the store where they give you the fresh stuff.
Oh.
So it's a bit strange. Another thing you can do is you can get your M&Ms printed, so you can get your little logo, whatever, printed onto M&Ms, which is nice.
That's fun.
In whatever colours you want. But yeah, it's a lovely store, and you know, my biggest gripe really was that the fact that place was boarded up for the last guts of a year. So when you're taking pictures now of Main Street, I know we still have Casey's Corner, but at least most of Main Street is now not under wraps.
Yeah,
so
looks definitely would look a lot better.
And then we got to the next day, and that was a crazy day, April 12th. So I woke up, I stayed in the Ekla Hotel, which is, as I said, like a posh prison, which is like, I don't know whether that's slagging prisons or not, but like this is basically all you need. Like, but you sleep about 6 feet away from the toilet, so that's something to take in mind. So I woke up, got dressed, great, got a taxi down to Adagio. I was actually meeting a friend in Adagio who collects pins, and I gave him loads of the Irish Dublin pin event pins. And then I walked then from Adagio into the parks, and we had to be there between 8 and 9 to get our credentials, etc. I walk in, I'm like, you know, shooting the breeze, saying hi to everyone, thanks to everyone for organising the day and everyone. And then the lady who runs, or one of the lady who runs Inside Ears, says to me, oh Stuart, there's no shorts. And I was like, what? And like it instantly made sense in my head, you know.
Yeah, but you just wouldn't think of that really.
No,
you're not doing the work.
It was a roasting hot day, and like I couldn't believe it. So she actually rang back to the Disney offices and asked me what size I was and stuff, and like tried to get somebody with a spare pair of trousers or something. And I was like, listen, I'll just get a taxi straight back. Like, it's one of those times where the Eklo is the furthest hotel I would ever stay away from Disneyland Paris. And I happened to be that weekend to be staying in the Eklo, and so taxi back to the Eklo, taxi man waited for me, taxi back to Disney. Luckily, like I gave him a big tip and everything, and then and
lucky you got there early.
I got there again early, so I got there early twice, and then we queued up to get into Studio D Theatre, and that was nice, just meeting all the other Inside Ears heads and stuff like that. Like Inside Ears, it's a funny thing, right? It gets a bad rap, and it gets a bad rap a bit from me too. A lot of the people who are in Inside Ears were just chosen randomly like 5-6 years ago, and they could be more active. So there's an awful lot of active people these days who deserve to be in Inside Ears. Not looking at anyone in particular, but like I would definitely class a lot of people who are active, and maybe they need to have, like, if anyone's listening, have some sort of clause, because as far as I'm concerned, they can't remove you from Inside Ears unless you like are seen burning a Mickey Mouse teddy bear on Main Street. You have to do a lot. It's like to get kicked out. So yeah, we went through the press conference. You know, everyone's seen the press conference. Just run through it. We got like updated details about Sequoia getting done up, David Crockett's ranch, new lodges. The big counter to the Universal news was the up attraction going in across the road from the Rapunzel ride. I think they have that attraction in Emerald Park, don't they? Have you been to Emerald Park recently? In the new section, they have a suspended merry-go-round, basically. Yeah,
they have it in Pixar Pier. I was in California, guys. So did anyone hear that I actually went to California? And I also stayed in...
Ashton has vlogs.
They have it on Pixar Pier, and it makes sense there because it's like an old school carnival ride, and Pixar Pier gives them vibes. Like it has the like old kind of throw in a beanbag out of can and you can win a teddy kind of game. And with the like wooden roller coaster or Incredicoaster, it makes sense there. But I think that Adventure Way, is that the right name? Adventure Way?
Yes. Is
very classy. I think they could have done anything else, I think, is my opinion, except for a swing, old school carnival swing ride. And I get up, it makes sense. Technically, you're going up on a swing, but I think they could have just done so much better, or something like anything, literally anything else. and you're having a teacup ride and a swing ride. I just feel like there could have been, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll just keep going on what happened to me like after that. I have thoughts about Venture Way, and I've thoughts about that ride as well. So we had the press conference. We met people afterwards. I was looking to meet. There's a lot of Irish connections in Disneyland Paris, and I made some more connections who are very high up, and these people are going to be hopefully in charge of Disneyland Paris one day. And I think it'd be great to have a Paddy in charge of Disneyland Paris. That'd be so
Definitely.
funny, considering they built the Irish built Frontierland. So the worst thing, not the worst thing, God, the biggest letdown was the fact we obviously didn't get a Frozen opening date or a Adventure World opening date. So I mean, it's classic Disneyland Paris that we didn't get one, and the people who I were talking to, and I was saying, why did we get a date? And they were like, you guys are all talking about dates. Like, we don't have dates. This is all just content creators and Instagrammers and YouTubers just talking about hyping things up or whatever. Like, they're not working. They feel no pressure. They're going to do this right. And that's going to be how it's going to be. Because that brings us on to my next part, which is after the press conference, we went down to Super Diner, which was turned into a dressing room for a few minutes. That was gas. And we got let in 5 at a time, and there was these bags. We thought we were getting swag. We were actually getting hard hats and high vis and our hard shoes and everything.
And the biggest question, did you get to keep the hats?
Of course we didn't get to keep the hats. They were proper but I actually after the whole tour, somebody asked me, why didn't you put a DLP Tips for Irish sticker on the hat?
Oh, missed opportunity.
Yeah. That was very unprofessional of me. I should have done that. Missed opportunity completely. And then so we got dressed up. It was absolutely roasting, and I was in my jeans because I wasn't allowed to wear shorts. I was in these corrective shoes, kids who have corrective feet, whatever. I was just chatting to people. I met the nice what's his name, Jeff from Mouse Steps. I don't know if you know Mouse Steps on YouTube. So they're over 1 million subs on YouTube and doing this himself, and Denise, his wife, doing this a long time. So shout out to Mouse Steps. I also met a guy called Hiro. He's from Japan, coming over from Japan to Disneyland Paris for this event and for the few weeks
dedication
of the music festival. And so that is professional, in fairness.
That is professional.
Sam for God was on my tour as well, but we were kind of split up. I was on the tour 10 minutes before her, so we got to chat a bit that day too. And her friend Simone Money Mouse was on my tour as well. So these were just people that I recognised. Also, the name completely escapes me. Elodie. I don't know if you know her on Instagram. Elodie, French content creator. Really classy videos. Really
aesthetic vibes.
Way better put together than my stuff. But she was there. So yeah, we got suited and booted. And then we were told to kind of take off most things again, and then we were going to walk around to the front of World Premiere. So obviously you can't walk through the park up the Avengers campus wearing a hard hat and high vis and stuff like that. So we just got a Disneyland Paris bag, the ones that you get if you buy whatever, they're a $5 at the blue bags. And we went into World Premiere from where you rent the strollers, and we actually got our stuff on then. And we got earpieces to listen to the person speaking on the microphone, which wasn't required at all. I had two lovely tour guides, one called Chrissy, I think she was an American lady, and a French fella called Guillaume. They're all called Guillaume in French in France, but they're both from Walt Disney Imagineering Paris, and they both walked us through everything. Earlier on in the day, I had met Andy and Bowie, the Imagineers, who are kind of tasked with leading World Premiere from a kind of a design point of view, and they were like, "Oh, really tell us what you really feel about it. Don't hold back if you don't like it." And so we all walked in, and it was the first kind of I'll try and get into the mic here. It was because the place, obviously the full lights were on for construction, so there was very little vibe or atmosphere, but some of the neons were on. All the neons are all LED lights now. They're not. Neon is apparently bad for the environment back in the day. That's news to me. But yeah, the world premiere big facade at the back really just hits you. And then all down the right hand side is the Hollywood Gardens restaurant. All down the left hand side is a store basically as it was, but all totally reimagined inside. Very classy. Pandora is going to be in there again, obviously. And you have the Searchlight Cafe, which is for snacks and things down the back on the left. The Hollywood Gardens, like, it feels like it's going to be a table service, but it's a huge quick service restaurant. 600-seater, up and down. You have kiosks to order yourself.
Oh,
kind of like they're doing in Hyperion.
In Hyperion, yeah.
Yeah. And then we were turned around then, and then when you turn around and look back to where you came from, you see Walt Disney Studios, like, facade, where they've done it up as if you were looking at the offices of Walt Disney Studios.
No way.
With, like, all these empty desks with, like, shadows on the windows of artists and Imagineers and stuff that are working, but then the lights turn off randomly, and then people, arrive in the window and stuff like that. There's all little Easter eggs in the shadows.
That's really cool.
It's cool. And there's all little Easter eggs all over the world premiere facade too. So we got to take a picture, and it was really weird because we had to wear gloves. I've never been at a construction site in my life. This is all news to me. but the people taking care of us out there were like, oh, if you can't take a picture, like if you're that poor you can't afford the latest iPhone that has the camera button on the side, if you have to take your glove off for a picture, please make sure you put it back on in the picture. Like, don't release any pictures of any rules
Not
getting broken from a construction tour.
Health and safety.
Yeah, stop the lights. So yeah, great vibes all the way through. You know, we're just all like, wow, this is incredible. We're just all so lucky. You know, it was actually a breath of fresh air that you couldn't film anything really. I know this is selfish because we're there because we have followers and we want to share the stuff with our followers, and we wouldn't be there if people didn't watch our stuff. But to just have a few moments to, like, take it in as opposed to having to capture everything was kind of nice. So back out the front, off with all the clothes, walk down through Avengers Campus again, back down to the Super Diner, and then we got to go through the door there where usually Wanda goes through when they're going up to the rooftop tour. And we got dressed again behind that door, and then we got another briefing on the fact that, you know, it's a live construction site. The quote was, "There's a red carpet, but the red carpet has bumps." And I couldn't believe it. There actually was a red carpet. So this whole week of, you know, showing insiders people, we were just one group basically. There was like media the previous day from French magazines and TV and stuff like that, and they had been given the tour probably the day before. So all good. If you can imagine this now, we're now behind Tower of Terror, walking back towards Studio One. So we're walking away from Frozen, and we get to do a kind of a U-turn around. So, like, this is the way I'm big about, like, reveals and stuff like that, and they revealed it to us, like, perfectly. We got to do like a U-turn, and then why am I saying turn so strange? Turn. And then we got to see, like, straight down Adventure Way, down to Arendelle, and, like, we're all just looking at each other, and, like, half the people were in tears. Definitely shout out to Tom, Catherine's husband. I got a sudden bout of hay fever, definitely, because, like, it was so emotional that the vista, like, you couldn't paint it. Like, you can't even take a picture and express, because you can kind of peek into the top of Arendelle now at the moment from the back of Studio One. But when you get to see it all with the trees all in their full bloom, and it's a mixture between Epcot and the Champs-Elysees, I would say. You know, it's like that kind of design level. They knew somehow, like, this is the talent that, like, we all love to, like, do our armchair Imagineering, but, like, how they conceive a kind of a pile of muck into, you're going to stand here and this is what you're going to see, and this is in 3D perspective how you're going to feel about the distance and everything. It's just incredible. So we all were shaking walking down Adventure Way on the red carpet. We were told about the kind of English Gardens / Mary Poppins gazebo that's going to go on there. That's going to be either for, like, a live band or meet and greets, which is going to be great.
Oh, fab.
And then, like, half the details, I'm really sorry, half the details went completely over me because there's just so much emotions going on. We were told about the Rapunzel ride, and the big thing about that is that I told you guys in the WhatsApp chat, but that Mandy Moore is coming back to do the
Exciting.
original music again. And then a big deal for the Imagineers was actually the fact that the reflecting pond in front of the ride was built in a manner that when you're walking down Adventure Way, it reflects perfectly in the shape of the Rapunzel ride in the water. So they're obviously going to have lanterns and everything going on. Like, it's going to be lots of purples,
Fab.
lots of gold in the reflection.
Love
And
it.
there's also a boat in the pond.
Oh yeah,
you know?
and there was pictures of that released.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to have a look, you'll be able to
this
see
is
a
all
picture
getting
of that.
released while we were on the tour. So it was like
It's happening while you were there.
So we continued down. We were told where the upride's going to be. It's kind of like, hard to explain, but that Adventure Way is very classy, and the way they're going to build it, it's very Adventure Way and Adventure Bay is what the Imagineers were describing. It's its own kind of aesthetic. It's its own world. So when they were saying about the Rapunzel ride, they were saying, okay, this is not like us stepping into the land of Corona, as if like you're stepping into Rapunzel's world. It's Rapunzel coming to Adventure Way.
Came here. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm with you.
And another thing is that, like, from Toy Story Playland, you're going to be walking straight across now to Avengers Campus. Like, it's madness.
Yeah. And you can see the new Jessie and Woody statues if anyone's heading to Disneyland Paris and wants to get a little bit of sneak peek. You can see, well, to get a full sneak peek, go on the parachutes, but you can just see them from like walking through Toy Story Land. You can see the two statues and they look really good. Very excited for that.
Yeah, and from there, like, you can see the Quinjet. So I know it's kind of breaking, people talk about sightlines and stuff like that, but actually standing there, it's mad that this is all in the same world. You don't feel like then. I mean, what happened with Epic Universe is that they built a lot of show buildings and painted them blue because the sky is blue, and then that was kind of it. But with this, they're kind of saying that, okay, we're not ashamed that you can see other lands. They're just different kind of spokes of the same wheel. Is what the vibe was.
I think it leans into the whole like old way of it being kind of like Hollywood, and this is like, you're not actually, as you said, like, you're not going into Tangle's thing. Like, Rapunzel is going to come in here.
Yeah.
To,
well, like,
to
no
our
one cares.
place.
No one cares that when you're on
really
Big
cares.
Thunder, you can see Space Mountain, and no one cares when you're on Big Thunder, you can see Tower of Terror. Like, we all get over it.
Yeah.
So we kept on walking down towards the lake, and we saw like the Adventure Bay is like much bigger than I thought it was going to be. There's a proper like breeze coming off the water because it's just a huge amount of water. It's way more than DCA, for example. It's way bigger amount of water. Like the show they're going to do, folks. I'm not hyping it up too much now, but like,
I'm very excited.
The people they have in charge of that show are like the people you want globally in charge of a water show. Yeah,
the fact the first picture that came out is a Moana one, I'm already like, okay, I will bring my box of tissues, I will be ready to go, because I'm just so excited for it. It's gonna be great.
And they have all, like, obviously they have Moana 2 out now, so they can take some of the ideas from that movie. If anyone's listening, I'm just saying and then they might bring in some other things from Disney Adventure World. Still seems strange to say that in full, but like, we might be looking at, who knows, some Avengers stuff. We might be looking at something from Ratatouille. We might be looking at Worlds of Pixar, Cars, like all this stuff.
That makes so much sense. I think that would definitely, it would just be like the icing on the cake to kind of like tie everything together at the end of every night of like, this is where you were, this is everything that you've seen, and now it's all in a show. Because I mean, even in like the fireworks show, like, there's scenes that you can't see the characters in the parks. Like, you're not going to see Hercules in the parks, but there's a Hercules scene in the thing. Whereas I think that would be like such a good way to tie everything together at the end of the day of the whole story of everything that you did in the park that day. Have like each specific world in it.
Can you imagine, just putting this out into the world, okay? I'm putting it out into the world. Can you imagine the people in charge of Disney Delight, Electrical Sky Parade, in charge of a Frozen themed / element drone show on the lake in front of Arendelle? Like, they're gonna smash it. I can't wait.
It's going to be amazing.
I actually
So
can't wait.
excited.
I'm actually like, I'm kind of like, when it opens, I'm like, come on, get dark so we can do this show.
Open it in the winter time.
Well, saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. So then we got down and we were shown the kind of rig they have in the middle of the lake, and that's it's actually on a barge, so it comes out and goes back in again. So it's not like Epcot where it's mostly like in the middle of the lake the whole time.
Oh yeah.
This is a moving barge or whatever, like a huge thing. And then there's also a little pier area, like Dunleary Pier basically, in front of Arendelle, which is going to be able to have Frozen themed mini water events.
Oh, cute.
That's they said it was an option, but I can't see the fact that they're not going to do that. Do you know at the end of Frozen 1, the way it didn't kind of like the pier, where he gets kicked into the boat and then he told to go off and stuff,
Yeah.
So yeah, all about it, great. And then like, unfortunately, this is a hugely selfish moment, but they were kind of like, okay, now let's head back, and I was like, no photo. Please. I was like, and then they released the pictures of all the stuff that we saw, and I was like, but sure, like, what was going to be the difference between?
Yeah,
but, I mean, as a kind of a controlled environment, they couldn't trust. Like when we took a picture of world premiere, we were told only have world premiere facade behind you.
Yeah, not
don't take
else.
pictures to the left or to the right. And it's just too big, the bay, because who knows what you could be taking a picture of. There was some, I don't know who, leaked really bad. If you're going to leak videos, at least make them good videos. Someone leaked really bad videos of Adventure, like, I don't know if they're construction workers or something.
I didn't even see anything of that.
Yeah, I didn't share them because I don't think it's doing a place justice at all, like,
Yeah.
And sorry, the Regal View restaurant is going to have princess dining.
That's
it's
exciting.
Going to have premium experiences where you can watch the night shows from the terrace. It's going to have music pumped into the restaurant from the show, a la the Contemporary Hotel in Walt Disney World.
Yeah,
and
so kind of like they have like Phantasmic like dining packages and like World of Color dining packages. So same vibe. That'll be good.
That'll be expensive, but
definitely
sign me up. And then very quickly at the end of the night, then that was like finished up at like 1 p.m. But then at 10 p.m. or so, after it was Lash and Rain, classic DLP. After Tales of Magic, we got to go to Videopolis. There was an awful lot of confusion about what we were going to, what we were doing. We were sat down in Videopolis, and then we got to see the Disney Music Hits concert, which, as everyone knows now, because a lot of people have seen it, is a great show, really fun show. I had no idea what to expect at all. There was no spoilers given, and we got to record it and experience it. And whenever the main song hit, Viva la Music, I was recording it, but like huge big smile on my face. I was like, and the performers, I was in like the second row, and I was just like my phone like up going like this big happy smiley face because we only got like a 30-second clip beforehand of Minnie just dancing to that, and like bit. Everyone loved. And shout out to actually the Happily Catherine as well, because cool story. When Cave of Wonders Twitter account, they shared the music sheet that came out for cast members about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And if you don't know, Happily Catherine is incredibly musically talented, and I sent it straight to her. She was on the way out the door to do some shopping that day. So I sent it straight on to her. I said, do you understand this? Can you go home and perform this? And she went home and sent me voice notes, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a great song.
I know. I seen her TikTok stories, and I was like, oh yeah, we're on to another banger. Yeah,
big time. And then it was just a great show. Slightly, the Chippendale situation is slightly like
Chippendale.
It's gas. It's great. I didn't know where I was in the world looking at this, because I thought I had died and gone to heaven, but also the fact that I was hallucinating again, because this is crazy. And they actually the DJ set that they do was actually for about 3 minutes, so you're kind of going, okay, what's happening here? It's just the rest of the show, just like but that was great. It was Lash and Rain. We got loads of, you guys can't see on the video on the podcast or whatever, but we got loads of posters. I have them all framed here all around. And we also got, where's that other one gone? Oh, it's over there. It's the mural. Give me a second, sorry. Talk amongst yourself there for a second.
Are we
There.
introducing
Well
Eleanor
done,
yet?
Aisling. Not yet. Not yet. No spoilers. Look, it's this mural. I don't know if you
I
can
love
see
it.
it. So this mural is on it's a hand painted mural on the back of world premiere, and it's gonna be behind where they have the partner statue. But like, look at the shape of that. Just for people
Love
listening, this is about 4 inches high by about 30 inches wide. There's no frame in the world that you can put that into. And if there is, let me know. But yeah, so the partner statue, sorry to breeze over that fact as well, is going to go behind world premiere, facing down towards Arendelle.
Oh, I did actually see a sneak peek photo of that.
Yeah, so that's in the designs. Like, we all know
Yeah.
that, but it's going to be great. And then,
And I'm also excited that Tower of Terror actually still looks like Tower of Terror. It's not
Yes.
going to be Guardianized. I think it's
It won't
here
be.
to stay. Woohoo!
Well, like, just sorry to get really practical at the moment, right? Disneyland Paris, is the same in Tokyo. They make decisions based on what is this going to do as far as, like, you know, getting guests in, getting revenue, blah blah. Sorry to get boring, but there's no money to be made from either redoing or retheming or kind of putting a facade on the back of Tower of Terror. So this won't do it. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're saved by the fact that DLP needs to run a very tight ship. As
The
far
budget
as
to save
budget,
this.
exactly, yeah. So that was that night. Great night. Lots of fun people, nice people, hang out with all day. Great crack. And then just another thing that was my construction tour roundup. And then another thing that happened then was that I think it was like that weekend, Petite Rosalie was unveiled and instantly opened as well. So it's a little Rosalie outdoors terrace situation at Lake Disney. And that's nice. It looks like you can have an Aperol Spritz.
Looks really nice. That's
Based on
exactly what I was thinking. That Disney Village kind of needs now to get going for that really kind of like upscale level. That whole sitting out on a terrace, having a cocktail, like giving people a reason to stay later. And I mean, the lake's beautiful, but there's nowhere to sit around it. There's a couple of benches, but like to actually use the lake as like a sitting by the lake, have a little drink after your park day is a very, very good thing, especially now coming into summer.
Very classy.
Very nice.
Very classy. Very classy. So that moves us on then to a huge, big roundup talk about the Disney Music Festival. And for that, we have a very special guest. We have, if I can just unmute our special guest. Here we go. Yeah. So our very special guest is the lovely Eleanor Peters, who is at Irish Disney Mammy on Instagram. You would have seen her over the weekend at Disneyland Paris. I shared a good bit of stuff. We were following other people's lives where she was kind of taking over other people's lives. So Eleanor, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Don't be
Very
too nervous.
exciting.
It's just me and Aisling. I know we're
I
trying
know. I know.
to stay professional here. So Eleanor, you had a lovely trip that was gifted to you by your darling husband.
Yes.
And he basically stayed in the hotel for the weekend, and you went off.
Yeah, so we
Enjoying
got
the meal.
him. I have the annual pass, but we got him a 1-day ticket for Saturday. And other than that, he kind of wandered around or stayed in the hotel. Yeah, he was happy to do that. So each to their own.
Yeah, I'm sure you were like, yeah, that's grand. You stay there.
Yeah,
I'll sort myself.
absolutely. Because even on Saturday when he came in, so it was manic. Like, I've never actually seen it is so busy on Saturday. That was Easter Saturday, and it was completely sold out. So he didn't really. He stayed for about half the day, and then he said, "Look, I'll leave you to it," because I was hopping from one thing to the next and saying, "Now we need to go here. Now we need to go there," and he was basically just following along behind, and yeah, so it wasn't much fun for him. But well, like, he enjoyed it obviously, but it wasn't his vibe. So I was like, yeah, grand, and he went on. And then I continued doing what I was doing.
Yeah, just a bit of background for Eleanor. Eleanor was on our first group trip, and on our second group trip, obviously, because everyone who goes on the first one, that's just your first one, and then you're hooked.
Yes.
Eleanor is a huge part of the crack at DLP whenever we can. If anyone ever wants to go to DLP and wants to be talked into going, you can give Eleanor a shout at Irish Disney Mammy on Instagram.
Yep.
If you are going and maybe your family are trying to talk you out of going, again, get on to Eleanor. She'll have you booked in no time.
Yeah, we'll find someone to go with you if you don't want to go by yourself. And yeah, it's brilliant. We have a whole group of people now that are always heading over, and there's always someone available on whatever dates you're thinking of. And yeah, it's fantastic, life changing. So in a good way.
Yeah. And it's funny because that is not like hyperbolic at all. I feel in the group that we had group trip last year, and then half of us came over to this year, and then we built it on this year and added more friends, and truly life changing group trips. But we're not going to talk about the group trip too much because we did it the last podcast, I think. But just this is the proof. Eleanor is the proof that good things grow. You know, sorry to get
I mean, I was always a fan of Disneyland Paris, and I was always over every year since my kids were small, who are now just young adults, so they're not as interested. They still like Disneyland, but they don't have to come along now every time, or I don't feel bad about going without them. So yeah, it's just a different direction now. Yeah, which is really good.
Yeah, you get over that very fast, not bringing your kids. Because, like, in fairness, when you bring your kids and when their kids are young, you have to put in a lot of work into making their day flow along. Yeah. And just
it's
to enjoy
all
it
about
yourself.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
what about you?
Them.
What about you, Eleanor?
What about me?
So let's get on to the festival anyway. Wow, so we got a preview day, which is basically the best day on the Friday.
Yes.
I think everyone thought it was going to be like a soft opening of a few things, but it ended up being the full regalia of events and experiences. So, I mean, let me know if I'm missing anything here. So we had the Mary Poppins and the Pearly Band in the gazebo. It's kind of like a morning vibe situation. I think from that, most people are thinking that it's okay to kind of walk by it. It's more like an American park streetmosphere situation, whereas you can stay there and watch it all. But a lot of people I see in the background of videos are walking by and just saying, "Oh, that's nice." Yeah,
it's kind of it's a nice atmosphere when you walk in, because I think the first show is at 5 to 9, so it's even on during the early magic hour, and you walk in and there's live music, and like I've seen it before there where there's just live music without the Little Mary Poppins show, I suppose, and it's lovely. It's a lovely welcome into the park. But then obviously if you're a Mary Poppins fan, or if you're not in a rush, if it's not your first time in the parks and you just want to see the castle and do all the rides, stick around and watch it, because it's really, really cute. And it's on multiple times, but that's the first show of the music festival every day. I think it's on at 5 to 9.
Yeah.
But the times obviously are subject to change, so just always check on the app.
And then don't forget to stick around for Mickey singing along to his banger of Viva La music.
Yeah, which is really nice. So Mickey Mouse is up on the station, on Main Street Station. There's always somebody there, Mickey Mouse or Minnie or someone in the morning, like waving good morning to everybody. But now it's Mickey in his Festival of Music costume, and Viva La music is blaring. So it'll take about an hour, and then you'll probably know it off by heart. Like, it's everywhere. The song is playing everywhere.
It's definitely the biggest song since A Monkey See La Mean.
Yeah, if it's not playing, there's somebody singing it, or someone, or you're humming it yourself. It's just, it gets into your brain nearly. But it's really, really good.
I was watching everyone's content, all the lives, etc. over the weekend, and I was just singing it the whole time. And they released it on Spotify and everything. So and then some people were giving out that, I'm over this song already. But then I was like, if you're the type of person to be over a song at Disney, maybe don't listen to it so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'd play it all day long. Actually, funny story, on Saturday in the family, I must send this on to the WhatsApp group or whatever. So on Saturday, I had some family over here, and we were literally had a daisy dance around my sitting room to Viva La music.
Nice.
Love that.
Like 10 of us dancing around in a circle. That's professional. So then a few other things. We don't have like 20 minutes to talk about every single thing, but like some of the highlights for me looked like Minnie's marching band. That was like a nice open area down Main Street. She comes out of the Ribbons and Bows gate over there, and then comes halfway down Main Street to waltz, and then it goes back up again, back through the gate again.
Yeah. So if you hang around somewhere just a little bit past Market House Deli, That's where the cutoff is. So there'll be a line of people across Main Street, basically, watching her come up Main Street towards the castle. And yeah, it's a really, really good place to watch it. But you'll see it from anywhere along Main Street or down on the Central Plaza.
I actually saw a tip actually. If you follow her as it comes out of the gate, then you kind of join in behind the marching band like you would Stars on Parade if you're going to take over on Paddy's Day, and then follow. You get to be the first queue, the first line of people who are looking at Minnie's marching band with the castle in behind as you look down Main Street towards the castle. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's definitely down Main Street. So then, like, we'll breeze over Goofy's unfortunate imaginary orchestra. That poor chap, God love him. I don't think people know what's going on there. He gets up on one of the stages and then does the fountains, but people just keep ignoring him, really.
Yeah, it's not that spectacular. That, I'd say half the time people don't know what's going on. So I had watched before, so I knew which of the stages he was going to stand on, because I'd seen it on Instagram or whatever. So I made sure I was standing beside that stage, and everyone's standing around that knows it's going to happen. And because, just as an aside, there was, like, most people in the park didn't even know what was going on with the music festival. But those of us that were standing around were waiting there. And then, there was crowds of people, obviously, all around in front of the castle, and I was standing facing the castle. So the next thing I saw Goofy's big tall head coming down from the castle. And I was like, oh, there he is. I was so excited, but I had no one to say it to because I was up by myself. But I think I said actually, oh, there's Goofy, out loud. And then everyone kind of looked and was watching him coming down. So he comes down anyway and gets up onto the stage, and you can hear him talking, there's it's through the loudspeakers, and he's talking in English, I think. And what he's doing is he's conducting an invisible orchestra. So he's kind of talking to an invisible orchestra, and then, he's conducting, and he's waving his baton towards the castle, and he's making the fountains at the castle, like, go up and down in time to the music. But unless you're in the right place, you can only look at Goofy or the castle. So people are, like, swiveling to see what's going on, what's he pointing at, what's he doing. And everyone's just walking around otherwise, and it's a little bit confusing unless you kind of know already what's going on. But I thought it was nice. It's cute. I like Goofy, but it is a bit vague, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
another one of the
like
things where you see people walking by going, oh, there's Goofy. And then they just walk past, a bit like
and
the Mary
going.
Poppins, so.
Yeah.
But it's nice
Maybe
because
it's like
it adds to the vibe. Yeah, it adds to the vibe in the park because there's characters kind of all over the place doing stuff. And if you want to stop and watch or keep going. But there's something going on around every corner, which is really exciting.
Yeah, so we'll go around all corners
as we're walking for a number of years. So
as we're walking down Main Street towards the castle, we take a right into Discoveryland, and so Stitch, Meet, you got a virtual queue. How did that work out?
I did. I got the virtual queue. I didn't get it on the Saturday. I tried. When I was back in the park on the Sunday, I set an alarm. So the virtual queue opens through the app. You go into the Meet Stitch experience, and it opens, I think, at 9:45 is the first one, and then 2 p.m. is the second one at the moment. So I literally set an alarm on my phone when I remembered for like 5 to 2. And when that went off, I just kept going in and out of it and in and out and in and out, trying to select. It's like select this experience, and it would just come up as blanked out, like you couldn't select it. But I just kept going until like 3 minutes past 2, and then all of a sudden it just popped up with an appointment. So I managed to get an appointment, which I was absolutely delighted about. It was 127 minutes wait time or something. So the way it works is you get your appointment. It's saved on the app, so you can go off and do whatever you want for the 2 hours, and then the app will send you a reminder when it's getting close to the time to say, start making your way to Discoveryland. It's nearly time to meet Stitch. So you head over then, and he's meeting in Arcade Beta, which is at the Videopolis. And yeah, there's a little queue outside. Took about 20 minutes maybe from when I got there to when I actually got to meet him. So it was a really good experience, I found. Yeah.
That's great.
And he was really fun. He's in his Elvis costume and really, really good interaction.
Love that.
Like, he's so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, some people on the first day were saying close to an hour for that experience, like from joining the queue to actually meeting them.
Yeah.
As in like the physical queue. But I think that was just day one.
I think so.
Mayhem, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then what else do we have then? We're moving around. So we're in so Fantasyland, you have Donald and Daisy and their accordion accordionist.
Daisy and the accordion, it's really, really nice. There's a person playing an accordion, so again, live music, which is what you have around every corner. And Donald and Daisy do a little performance where they, their little lovey-dovey thing, and they're dancing with each other and flirting with each other. And then towards the end, and I think all of those little musical shows around, they invite people in to dance with them and join in, which is lovely. And I last saw that in like 2011 when I was there with my kids and they got to get in and join in with something. So it was great to see that back. It is chaotic. You do have to get there early if you want to have a good view. That's the downside of it. They're not on a stage, so unless you're kind of in the front, you won't really see anything. A lot of the videos you'll see on
with the Moana one, that it's a bit of a Mother Gothel, I think, again. Isn't that in the same place?
A lot of the videos you'll see look like they're taken from above, and that's because it's people literally sticking their arm in the air with the phone to get a video over everybody else's heads, because it's the only way you'll see anything if you're short like me. So, for the Rapunzel show, which is behind the old mill, really, really nice show for any Rapunzel fans. They probably picked the smallest little enclosed area in Fantasyland to do it in. So when I got there to see it, I didn't get in. There was no hope of I could have gone in and stood behind like 10 people and not seen anything. So what I did was I waited for it to be over, and then I went in it was half an hour later, the next show. So I got the last space in the front row when I went in, because a lot of people had hung around from the previous show to watch it again or to get in the front row, I don't know. But really nice interaction, especially there was loads of little girls in Rapunzel dresses, and in between when they're like doing their dancing and performing, they go along and they talk to the people and say, "Oh, I love your dress," and you look gorgeous, and you've got Pascal, I was looking for him everywhere, this kind of thing, and it's really, really nice. That's so sweet. Yeah, if you are a fan of the character performing, get there early to get in the front and have a good view.
I would say as well that if you're just a regular family visiting these things and you want to do like 3 or 4 of these things per day, you could probably easily like switch up your little bounds and stuff. Like if you have Pascal on your shoulder, for example, or if you have Hey on your shoulder, like the characters will make a big deal of it, so it's not that hard if you know exactly who's going to be in certain places. So say you wanted to meet but just be in the presence of Rapunzel, Miguel, Moana, like you could just bring 3 things you might have at home of that character's world, and then you get special attention if you get, because I don't think it's that hard to get to the front of the queue of 3 things if that's your day,
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to do everything on the same day. It's not fun, especially if you've kids. It's not going to be fun. I tried to do it on Saturday and I still didn't get to see, I think, 2 of the things. And also when I checked at the end of the night, I think I had like 12,000 steps done or something, which is nothing for a Disneyland day.
That's poor. That
means it's very amateur. Unprofessional. I'd say I spent about 98% of the day standing and waiting, literally it was just so busy. Now it's not going to be that busy obviously all the time, but I still wouldn't try and do everything in one day. Just space it out a little bit, because everything's on multiple times a day. Yeah, that's what you're going to do.
Challenge I'm going to try to do everything possibly next week.
It'll be easier if you're on your own, and
definitely.
And you don't have kids and you don't mind waiting, So
that'll be me at the one.
Did you see Timon's mat dance?
I saw it from the side. What I wasn't expecting from that was that Pumbaa is there, and he's really, really funny. I don't really want to do any spoilers, but everyone was in stitches laughing like at Pumbaa.
He's also huge.
He's massive. Yeah, he is. He's
I can't believe how big he was.
Pumbaa, Zazu, and Timon. I didn't get to see the whole show because I had no view of it. So I couldn't really see what was going on, and I didn't really want to kind of spoil it then for when I do go back and I get a proper view of it. I'd rather wait and get in and see properly, rather than seeing glimpses of it. And So,
and then did you see the grand finale?
No, because it was rained out.
Oh, sorry,
Easter Saturday.
I forgot. That's no. Sorry, that's a knife. That's a knife in the heart.
An hour before, to kind of get a good size, kind of like along the top of Main Street, and I had a really, fairly decent view anyway, and the rain started, of course, and everyone was like, oh no, and putting up umbrellas and everything. So nobody knew what was going on. You knew what was going on, Stuart. I didn't know what was going on. You weren't even there, and you knew what was going on.
Well, I was watching it live, and I could see the panic set in as, you know, they were closing. I was watching Nick from Nick and Claire's live, and he was standing.
No announcements.
No, he was standing close to a gate that went up onto the stages.
Yeah.
And so they came out and they closed the gates, and then nothing happened. So it went after 7:30, went 7:33, and then there was just like production staff chatting and whatnot, and then I could see the panic. There was no plan here. There was probably, I think they were not planning for bad weather or whatever. And what they did was they just told all the characters to walk out and do a 360, and then keep walking basically. And in fairness, it wasn't a bad plan that they put together. Like
no, if you kind of knew the context, it was fine. But like for me, and I guess for most people there, like I thought that was it. I was like, what? Like that was very unchoreographed and, you know, ad hoc. They all just kind of walked around waving, and they were singing along. They were all singing along to the music. Like it was, the energy was fantastic. The cast members were having such a good time. The characters and everything, that was brilliant. But it was all done in like 2 minutes, and I was like, wait, what? So then I was like, well, hang on. And then you said, oh, it was cancelled because of the rain. So then I was like, okay, that makes sense. So no, unfortunately. And then Sunday, we had to leave before I got to see it. So that is another one for the next time.
It's also your reminder for if you're going to trip and you really want to see something, to make sure to try and do it on the first day. Same goes for fireworks.
Always saying that. Saying it.
Do it on the first day.
I only had the Saturday really to see it. I didn't know all that was happening on the Friday, so I didn't book my day to go in. That was the day with himself that we were just going to chill and go to the spa and the pool and everything. And then he was like, do you know something, if you want, like, because then I was like, oh my god, there's soft openings, you know, I'm missing out. And he said, sure, if you want, like, head on in. And I looked and it was booked out, and I was like, all right. But then later on I did actually get an entry, I think that evening, but by then I think I got into the park at like 8 p.m. or something, so it was over by then. So that was my one shot.
Yeah, nobody expected it to be such a soft opening. That was a hard opening.
Yeah.
On the Friday, I think we all knew that they were going to do some things, but it was similar to Splash of the Colour, where they just did the whole thing, just like hard send them all out.
Full test run.
Yeah,
I think the next time when I'm there, I'll go on the hub to watch the final, you know, the grand final, because there's markings on the ground, obviously, but Mickey's up on a little kind of platform thing they put in the centre of it, so he's kind of up above everyone, so you'll see him, and then the 4 stages, and then you have the castle with the what kind of fireworks or whatever happens there. So I think that's probably the better place to stand. I don't know.
The grand finale, sorry to rub it in now, but the grand finale looks great, in fairness. Like I was watching it on Friday night.
I'll see it now in, you know, a few weeks, but
yeah. It won't be too long before I get back again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'll have to see it lots of times from different places, just like a million splashes of colour. I think I saw that from every angle eventually.
Yeah.
So,
well, Eleanor, thanks a lot for your time, and thanks a lot for your first-hand review and experiences of last weekend. Thank you very much
for having me. It's very
Thanks
exciting.
for coming on the podcast. You see, if everyone wants to come on the podcast, we're not scary. We're not big-headed Hollywood stars. Just little Stuart and little Aisling just chatting away, and anyone can come on if they want to. So if you do want to come on the podcast, if you have been over to Disneyland Paris or any Disney park recently and you really want to chat about it and bring some different angle onto the podcast, let us know and we'll have you on. But thanks a lot, Eleanor.
No problem.
See you soon.
Great stuff.
Irish Disney Mammy.
At Irish Disney Mammy. If anyone wants to shoot me any questions or check it out, go ahead and feel free. Be delighted to see you. Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Eleanor.
Now, we're just going to wrap up really by going through the housekeeping of the new stores that opened, which was Disney Deco and the Lego stores. I lived this through, again, Happily Catherine's lives on Saturday morning, I think it was. She was hoping to wait for the Disney Deco opening because she was more interested in the Deco store. But unfortunately, she was like the wrong side of the river and got pushed more into the Lego store. The Lego store facade looks incredible. Like
it's
they have
amazing.
Yeah, what they've done
so
outside, but the store inside doesn't seem like it's much.
I actually haven't
going
seen
on.
any pictures of it.
It's
the outside's so nice. It's
Yeah.
like the perfect like little photo opportunity for something going on in Disney Village. I love it.
I do hope that bench doesn't get wrecked though. Like, so they have a bench with the castle and
Mini sitting
Lego
on
castle, and Pluto has a little surprise for you if you sit down beside him. And up on top you have the Mickey sorcerer reading a book, and he moves his head and stuff like that.
it. So cool.
But yeah, they've done a great job in that. Disney Deco, I think it's more of a vibey store. You want to probably be there. I think like it's impossible to cover every corner of the store, but I can see that store doing major sales, particularly with
From me.
those. Well, yeah, but particularly with those, I'm thinking more so actually people on the train coming from the UK who can bring loads of stuff back.
Definitely.
Do you
I
know?
seen some things that I thought I was like, oh my god, I would love that, and then I was like, never mind, that I will not get that home on a flight.
Well, you got the clock
Some of
home.
the things, yeah, and I had to pay like €75 for it to bring it home.
Oh dear. But I think the whole street now in Disney Village is kind of opening
coming
itself up
together.
now. Yeah, it's coming together. You know, trust the
Yeah.
process.
Definitely, I'm very excited for it to be done. At the start, I was kind of sad about the nostalgia. It was very like 90s Disney, the old Disney store, the neon sign, which now we have learned is bad for the environment, so maybe they're going to sack that
There you
off
go.
too. And obviously losing Chef Mickey's and like all the kind of old school Disney stuff, getting Rosalie. But I think it's come together. I think it's going to match, I think, the vibe of Adventure Way. It's going to up level kind of the whole thing.
Yeah,
Really
I
nice.
think
I'm excited.
ever since Hotel New York reopened, it's been very clear that it's a unfair word to use, but definitely more corporate theme park is the vibe.
Yeah, I think so.
But there's also warmth there. It's not like when we're talking about like corporate, like white walls everywhere, etc. There's a lot of love going to details, and it's just way more classy in a kind of a timeless, modern sense. Corporate is probably the wrong word altogether. I'm very sorry to Natasha for if she's listening to this. And in fairness, can I just say a word about Natasha, please? Because we have the banter on here. Whoa, just hit my mic. We have the banter on here about Natasha, and everyone loves the hate because everyone can pick 10 things they would change differently if they were running Disneyland Paris. But I have it on very good authority that she is a huge asset to the resort. When people want to get stuff done and they have big ideas that are going to cost a lot of money, she will listen out and she will help people make it happen if it's doable. Everyone who has spoken to on the inside has said that she's great to work with. That and like this is in the face of kind of rising prices all over the place. Like everyone knows Disneyland Paris has gotten way more expensive, but what hasn't?
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
you buy.
I got a lot
Yeah.
of comments. I did a video obviously about Sequoia, and a lot of the comments I got were, and like people DM me were saying, yeah, I'm excited, but now the price is going to go way up. And I'm like, well, it's going to be a modern, fancy Disney hotel.
What do you want?
What
Yeah.
do you? It's just going to happen.
There was a montage that they played for us on April 12th, actually, that showed like the big things that have happened in the last 12 to 18 months at Disneyland Paris. And this is after the 30th anniversary. Like, 30th anniversary was a particular type of magic. But since then, all the things from the hotel opening to like, the much infamous Alice show, but like a lot of people love it. And there's just so much stuff that's happened. I need to actually watch it back again. It was a highlight reel of everything that's gone on. And there's been so much change in the park in the last 18 months. Like, not even an attraction built, but just so much change. And it truly never stands still. And Natasha has to like be the one holding all these Pinocchio strings. And, fair play. Natasha, I know you're listening. I know. So
It's our number one podcast.
well,
I was listening.
well, in fairness, there's some good Disney podcasts out there. Let's not be crazy here. Today was a big day, 23rd of April 2025. We were absolutely assaulted by annual pass news, which is very tough to do on a Wednesday. So just running through it very quickly. They launched the children's annual pass, which was much rumored for the last few weeks and months, kind of. Do you know what it was actually? It was actually one of those surveys after you returned back from Disneyland Paris. They put it out there about 3 months ago, would you be interested in an annual pass for children, like a more children focused annual pass? So obviously everyone said yes. Who cares? You know, this affects me directly because I spend over €2,000 a year on annual passes for my family of four, and this is going to save me like somewhere between €300 to €400 a year. It's roughly 24%. I know, crazy number, but rounding, 24% cheaper than the adult passes, and it does not include parking, store discounts, or food discounts, and it does not include your photo pass. The gold pass retains magic time, which is nice. You don't have to leave your kids outside the parks for an hour at 8:30. But yeah, it's basically like all the stuff you would say, why does my child need to pay for this stuff if I'm going to be with them all the time? So huge win. I don't know why they didn't make a bigger deal of it, and like they kind of did, but it was a strange PR exercise today, as always, with Disneyland Paris. And then a few hours later, the bright sparks at DLP Report noticed in the T&Cs that were there all day, which I looked at and translated and didn't cop, that the renewal discount had returned. So 15%.
Very exciting.
It is, because it's a nice little, like, you weren't going to renew. You were just going to always buy a new pass. And if you had 2 or 3 months in between trips, you would just wait until the day before you were going on the next trip to renew. And it's just a new pass again, so it wasn't really a renewal. So 15% discount the month before or the month after your pass expires. And as of recording at 5 to 10 on Wednesday night, we do not know the stackability of these discounts. We don't know if your priority pass 25% discount can be added or stacked or ran alongside the 15% renewal discount. We do not know if you can have a child with a priority pass with a renewal. Like, basically they pay you to come to the parks. So I think I'm going to make a phone call when I get a bit of free time tomorrow and put this to bed, hopefully, because I just think it's unfair. Like, not unfair, like, people want to know the story today, but people did make phone calls today, and the poor people on the end of the phone didn't know
what's going on.
Like, Disneyland Paris is like 15,000 employees, you know, and it's huge departments, politics going on, you know, different areas, teams want to have the news instead of other different teams, and then the people who actually should know, such as like operations, are probably told after social media people. So I'll give them a call today or tomorrow, and not today, it's 10 o'clock, tomorrow, and sort this out, because I just feel like me knowing this will prevent many more phone calls to these poor people. And that concludes the news. I had a little section, if we can do this very quickly, for social media shoutouts, because I know, like, we produce this podcast, but myself and Aisling spend an awful lot of time looking at other creators.
Yes, we do.
So I mean, in the last week, I've been, it's basically the usuals. Theme Park Worldwide, he was at Epic. Provost Park Pass was at Epic again. Spent the last month there at Epic. Sam Forgot is over in Tokyo. I was speaking to her April 12th, and I was like, are you ever going to just spend a bit of time in Europe for, like, you know, tax reasons? And she was like, I won't put on the English accent, but she was like, I'm going to Tokyo on Tuesday. And I was like, oh my God. So fair play to Sam for doing the Lord's work. Sam for God and Mayo for Sam. I didn't actually tell the whole the Irish thing there. But Aisling, do you have any people you want to, or accounts you want to shout out there?
I think I'll go for an Irish shout out, and shout out Aoife Grimes, because I was watching her YouTube videos, and she has been popping out the YouTube videos. She's Aoife's Adventures, I hope that's right, on YouTube, but it's Aoife Grimes on Instagram, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen me tag her and her videos before. But that's going to be my shout out for the week. Stick with Irish.
And we met Aoife on the pin
And
trading.
we met Aoife, yeah, at the pin trading event
as
too.
lovely as she is in real life as she is in her vlogs, which is important.
And I said, that's your boyfriend, because I know him from the vlogs. And she was
Well, I hope
like,
so. She's just pretending. So we'll wrap it up. That's definitely over an hour now, so we can check that down as a job done properly. See, I told you, people. I told you we were back. We're back, baby.
Back
We're
with a
back.
bang.
And I have invested in a new laptop, so you're going to be sick of us. You're going to be sick of us.
And I have a new mic.
Oh, here we go.
So
again, thank you, Eleanor, for coming on the podcast again. And Aisling, do you want to see us out?
absolutely. So that's a wrap of episode 14 of Irish Ears, a Disney fan cast. And you can keep up to speed with the both of us, Stuart at Disneyland Paris, or sorry, DLP Tips for Irish, and Aisling at Happily Ever Aisling on socials.
But for now, we'll say a bientôt. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.